Hey guys, how you doing today? Welcome to the Golden Persona. I'm glad to see you guys are here. This is kind of like the first time actually creating a YouTube video for the content, the podcast. Real quick, this is more of an introduction, but wanted to get to y'all as soon as possible before I lost the momentum. With success, I've noticed that speed is everything. Getting things done the moment that you can get it done as soon as possible. Now, real quick, uh, just to go over one thing that I believe that most men are struggling with is proper foresight. What is foresight? Well, I did write a segment, so you can always check it out on the podcast. But I did write down some stuff on paper, so I'm gonna go ahead and just read off of it. Keep it simple. Foresight, the ability or the action of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. And for men, I believe this is extremely important, for this creates the lifestyle we would like to have, because most men do what they do to for what? Let's be honest, to acquire a mate. Because women don't really have to do anything really initially to acquire anybody, but they would possibly have to meet certain standards to meet a certain caliber of man. The same thing with men, except most men don't have access to any women at all, because being average is the new, you know, just low pretty much. And when I say average, I mean not exercising, not eating properly, not creating a life where you can acquire the right amount of sleep. And even then, that's questionable depending on your lifestyle and where you're at in your life. Not being the example for your children. For most people, most men, say for instance, most men try to push their kids instead of trying to pull their kids. Because when you push your kids, you're just pushing them. Meaning when you're not there, they're not gonna push themselves. So how do you pull your kids? Well, first you gotta have the foresight to understand what you do, they mimic. I'm not saying that you're gonna be perfect. You're gonna have some flaws. Your kids are gonna see your flaws. But the thing is how you respond to those flaws and those weak moments. They can see that. They can sense that. Your children know that you're human. At the same time, they look up to you. So foresight is a big skill for most men. So that way you can avoid unnecessary hardship, misery. Now, here we go. Foresight is the ability to use every day, but are willing to utilizing it. That's a note. Okay. Our foresight is the strongest when we truly understand what is at stake. What is at stake? For instance, not spending quality time, not a lot of time, not spending quality time with your children. What is at stake? What do you lose? If you're just spending time with your kids and you just watch a TV, you're never inducing or stimulating their mind, their spirit, their soul. I never agreed with, oh, you got to spend so much time with your kids as a man. I believe as a man, you have to spend more time in building yourself and being an example for those younger than you, for those around you. That's why as men, as we do, we don't need to spend all day time with our children. You need to spend more time building yourself so they can see an example of what they want in their life, or who they might want to be, what kind of character. Okay. Let's see. In other words, have you taken the time to find out what you value and the pros and cons of what you value? That's a big factor too. I think a lot of people choose paths but never think about the cons or the pros. They just This looks attracting. A new fetish. Yeah, let's try this out. And this is a recipe for disaster. I don't really chase my passion. I look for responsibility. I look for issues that I can possibly help out in my own way. And when I say my own way, I mean in a way that would help the actual situation. Not go into a situation and say, "Hey, this is what is gonna help you out." That's goofy. That's goofy. That's thinking really goofy. A lot of people think that way. They think just because a certain outcome, you know, helps them feel better, that it's gonna make other people feel better. But I am gonna say this though, guys. One thing that's always gonna help you guys get out of a depression or feel like shit is exercise. Put it in exercise. Getting that work in. Well, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. A nice short Golden Persona podcast video. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to hearing from you more. My podcast is on 7 platforms. You'll find it on Apple Podcast. You'll find it on Spotify. You'll find it on a number of things. I appreciate you guys coming out. Love you. I believe in you because I believe in myself. That is it. I'm out.